Hello everyone. As you may know from the news or social media or from your schools, like the world and Eastbourne and England is just in a weird place at the moment. And so as you probably know, we have kind of scrapped true gatherings for the time being, for the foreseeable future, until we know what's going on and really. And so this is what I am doing. I'm filming a video, so excuse me if I'm a bit awkward or filming myself because there's no one to talk to, but I guess I'll probably just have to get used to this. We, in this time of kind of gathering together as a group, we really just wanted to kind of focus on a Christian response to what's going on in the world at the moment. So how do we respond as Christians, as men and women of faith, as daughters and sons of God to the coronavirus? How should we respond? You know, none of us can control what's happening. This is no one's fault, and no one can control what tomorrow looks like, what the next weeks look like, and what the potential months look like. None of us have control or ownership and know what's going to happen, but what we can control is our response to it. And so are we going to respond as men and women of faith, or are we going to respond as men and women of fear, and are we going to respond the way the world is responding? And so currently there is two responses to what's going on. There is the worldly response, which is panic, go to the shops and buy all the toilet roll, all the soap, all the hand sanitizer that you can, all the pasta, everything. Just panic and lock yourself away for 12 weeks and just stay there, don't see anyone, don't do anything, and just be in fear and be quite selfish as well. You're hearing stories of people that are fit and well, and they're going out and buying all the things. That means that people that are actually vulnerable won't be able to get them, and so that's what the world is doing. But we don't want to be like the world. We may be in the world, but we are not of the world. We want to be men and women of faith. And Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." Right now it's normal for us to be like, I don't know what's going on, like, what do I do? Do I go to school? Do I go to church? Do I stay home? Like, I'm freaking out, what do I do? Actually, we shouldn't lean on our own understanding during this. We should trust solely on God, know that He's going to be with us through it all. And actually the rest of the verse says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways submit to Him, and He will set your path straight." We need to submit our knowledge and our understanding to God in this situation and go, okay, we don't know what's going on, we don't know why you're doing this, God, but actually we know that you're doing it for good, and we're going to submit ourselves to you, we're going to humble ourselves to you and trust that you are in this. And so we're just going to read now Mark 4 together, and we're going to look at Jesus calming the storm and bringing order from chaos, bringing chaos into order. And so that's what we're going to read together. So if you want to turn to Mark 4 verses 35 to 41, let me just pray and then I will read it. Lord, I thank you so much for your word. I thank you that it is living and active. I thank you that it is sharper than a double-edged sword. I thank you that actually it is one of the most useful tools that we have at the moment. And I thank you that we can still gather, that actually despite what's going on, we can still be a church, we can still be a family, and we can still love one another. And I just pray you're with us during this time and you speak to us through your word. Amen. Cool, so I'm just going to read it. This is Mark 4 verse 35 to 41. That day, when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was, in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? They were terrified and asked each other, who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him. So essentially what has just happened is, the disciples are on this boat with Jesus and they're in the middle of the storm. It's pretty scary. They're not in control of the situation and they have no idea what's going on and they have no idea what to do in the situation. And Jesus is completely calm. They're freaking out, they're panicking, and Jesus is just taking a nap. He's like, oh, this is pretty clutch, just have a little nose, have a little sleep, living the dream. That's what Jesus is doing. And they're like, Jesus, don't you care? And sometimes we can look at God in a situation the same as the disciples did during the storm. We can go, God, where are you at the moment? Like, honestly, where are you? People are dying, the whole world seems to be on lockdown, people are self-isolating, we can't hang out, we can't do church. Like, where are you in the situation? Are we going to be like that, or are we going to be like Jesus? Are we going to be women and men of faith that are just, they're calm, we're just sleeping, and we're just full of faith that God has got this? And that's what Jesus says to the disciples. Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? Why are we so afraid? Why are we panicking? Why are we so anxious? When actually we know that there's a God that cares for us and that's going to protect us. The Israelites, when they were in Egypt, they had no food and no water and they were scared, and yet God protected them. He made manna, which is bread, come down from heaven. He made water come from a rock. Like, Jesus, God took care of them in the wilderness when there was nothing, when they were isolated and when they were scared. And he's going to take care of us. In Matthew 6 it has this whole section about do not worry, and it says, I take care of the birds, I take care of the fish. Are you not much more valuable than they? Like, surely I'm going to take care of you because I take care of them. And although it is a scary time and it is a time of not knowing what's going on, and it is okay to be anxious, ultimately we need to remember that actually we know the good news of the gospel, that actually there is hope, there is a future, and that this is only temporary, it's not going to last forever. And actually during this time, this is the best time for the church to be the church. Are we going to be selfish and be like the world and hide away and only care for ourselves, or are we going to care for other people? This whole social distancing thing, it's not because of us, it's not to protect us, it's to protect other people. It's not about us, and that's how it should be as us as men and women of faith. It shouldn't be about us and whether we're okay or we're safe or we've got what we need. We should constantly be checking up on and looking after other people. And so just to challenge and encourage you guys, who are you going to love during this time? Like, I know this might be a bit different, you may not be able to like hang out and give them a hug or whatever, but you can still send them a message and ring them or text them and just say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? So who are you going to love during this time? I'm just going to leave you with your groups to discuss the current situation. And yeah, I hope you are all well and have had a good week.